So it's a really interesting center. It really is quite fascinating. This is a very powerful center. Um, there we go. So it's a very powerful center. It's typically what determines the outcome of your life. Of course, the heart center isn't what determines it directly, but the heart chooses. The heart is always the one that chooses at the end of the day. And however it chooses, it's going to be swayed maybe by ego or by essence, is a good way of putting it. Essence is, of course, of the higher chakras, is, of course, the higher nature of consciousness. So, to do a little recap on everything that we've learned so far, the root chakra, the Muladhara, it's dealing with the challenges of survival. And typically, to have a balanced root chakra, all you need to do is have good access to water, have good access to food. But as we talked about, even if you do have these things, sometimes challenges and survival instincts will still arise just because we have so much primal energy. But we need to put that primal energy into a certain direction. It needs to go upward rather than downward. And of course, downward is more of a symbolic interpretation, whereas there are mechanisms that actually do interpret energy to move downward. Um, Moving downward typically represents we're acting through ego. And we want obviously want to raise upward. So then this next chakra that we covered is the emotional center. The emotional center was all about sense pleasures, and having a balanced emotional center was about having balanced sense pleasures and not just living for fun, right? Not just living for feeling good, not just, but living to serve others, for example, living for a higher purpose, living for a higher calling, rather than just living to please yourself. We talked a lot about the sins here, greed, lust, pride, envy, wrath, gluttony, sloth. Any of those sins, they're enacting in the sense pleasures. Even greed, it doesn't physically feel good, but it mentally feels good. We want more and more. But see, the thing about greed is that it's actually fulfilling a void within us. And that's what each of the sins does. Whatever sin that you're acting on, it's attempting to fill a void. And whenever your energy goes downward rather than upward, for example, to one of these sins, you're putting your energy in the direction of some sort of conflict. Typically, whenever you follow a certain sin, whether it's pride, greed, lust, anger, um, it will lead your life to a more disorderly type of path, a type of path that creates problems. And I've given you guys a few examples about this in the past. I could just give you a quick one because I think it's fascinating. So, someone who had, I told you guys a story, some of you may not know it yet, but someone had like 13, 14 girlfriends. He was an NFL player, an American Football League. Um, and they all knew about each other. All the girlfriends knew about each other, right? And they were okay with it. And then he got another girlfriend, and as with all of the other girlfriends, he told her, "I have a bunch of other girlfriends, by the way. Just letting you know." And she was like, "Oh, this is not good." She didn't like it. She didn't like it one bit, and that's to be understandable. We want to share our love with just one specific person instead of spreading our love to many different places, because whenever we can reveal ourselves to one specific person, that's whenever we transcend ego. That's what allows us to see ego. But anyway, to get back to the point, he had many, many, many different girlfriends. And this one particular girlfriend got so jealous that she ended up killing his main girlfriend. And I'm serious, actually like killing her. Um, and I think an unborn child was involved as well. But as you can see, that's a very far out extent example. But whenever it comes to these types of things, Excess leads to pain. Excess of anything leads to pain. Excess, whatever it is, it's obsession. You're dealing with dark things here. The best type of life that someone can lead is to be that of service to others. And if you want to burn as much karma as you can while you're here, and you want to raise yourself in consciousness as much as you can while you're here, helping others is just one of the most powerful things that you can do because it forces you to burn karma. It forces you to stop acting in the ego because ego is the realm of the I, me. It's all about me. I want to serve myself. I want to help myself. And so these lower three chakras that we talked about, they they're where a lot of they're like the crude oil, it's the wood, and it all starts the fire, which can either that fire can be directed upward or that fire can be directed downward. And there's a lot of energy here in these lower chakra centers. Like I said, the Svadhisthana, the emotional center deals with a lot of energy just because it's the sexual creative center. The sexual creative center is where we kind of direct our love and our sense pleasures and how we experience our life through feeling. And then moving upward, this third chakra, the Manipura, it's all about the direction of will. And you can choose to burn ego here. Um, and you'll see as well, the heart, which we're going to talk about today, is also about direction of will, but in a bit more of a exact pinpointed type of way. A balanced heart center wants to be of service to people. It wants to feel real love, not just love of a physical nature, not just love of egoic matters, where I want to feel good. I want to, like I was talking about earlier, just wanting to feel good all the time. Obviously, that's not what's going to bring us to awakening, but we want to feel true love for everything. So that's what the heart is. The heart center, whenever it's unlocked, whenever it's activated, you feel a real sense of unity, a real sense of divinity. And that's actually what relationships are for, is to create a sense of unison, a reflection. So whenever you look at the person that you love, you see all of their dark sides, but you hold them and you have a unconditional type of love for them. And a lot of the time, that's where the heart can be swayed downward rather than upward because we look at a person and we say, this person is, you know, not serving me how I want them to. And we end up acting in a selfish way. And that's why a lot of relationships nowadays end up failing because of these more egoic actions. But of course, it can be said the other way around too. Maybe the person is totally perfect and they are, no, there's nothing wrong with them. You like them in every way possible, but you are craving something more. You're craving something else, and you're putting your energy away from them to something that is more self-pleasing. Um, but we can never actually find, as I've talked about these past few weeks, we can never find true wholeness outside of us. Wholeness will always be found within. True wholeness is never going to be found in something outside of us. True wholeness is found within. And that's why in many religions, in many spiritual contexts, being with one person is what everyone says because you get to see a direct reflection of yourself. As a matter of fact, it forces you to see a direct reflection of yourself. It forces you to look at yourself and feel all of the things that you don't want to feel. And people often don't realize it, but they leave relationships because they don't actually like themselves. Because whenever we're with a person, it forces us to release our karma. You can also see this in family relationships, not as intensely, maybe. You could see it in friendships, definitely not as intensely. but it's still there. And you see your own anger arise, you see your sadness arise. And a lot of the time, it's so funny. We point fingers outside of us and say, "You made me feel this way. You made me act this way. You made me do this. You made me feel this way." But of course, every single emotion that we feel is an indicator of karma coming from within. Everything in the universe is handed to us so perfectly that it reveals to us ourselves. There's nothing that's just happening outside of you. Like, that's where you really, really can create an imbalance within all of your chakras, is just by saying, the world is doing something wrong to me, rather than turning inward and asking, how am I acting? How am I living? How am I experiencing life that is giving me these strong emotions of negativity? And what can I do to burn them? What can I do to get rid of those egos that are leading me in such a negative direction? So the heart chakra, it has such a profound sense of unison within it, a connection to all things. The heart is the element of air, and that air can get pushed around in many different directions, whether by ego or by the silent chatter of true unconditional love. And that unconditional love truly is silent. So you need to silence the mind, which uses logic, reason to try to convince you to go down this path, whereas the silent whisper of the heart is quiet. And oftentimes when we're dealing with the heart chakra, it's like you're sitting in the eye of the storm, right? It's like the eye of the storm because there's so many different things going on, and your heart wants to go in so many different directions. And that's why when it comes to the heart, decisiveness is so important. You must be decisive in your life, in the direction that you're going to go. We're going to talk more about that later. But to do a bit more of that recap, um, obviously, here's the root. So the root, I find this quite interesting. It's naturally masculine. The second chakra, the sacral chakra, is naturally feminine. It's dealing with emotions, whereas the root is dealing with groundedness and feeling security and safety. Like I said, the sacral chakra is dealing with emotions and feelings. The third chakra deals with direction and willpower. The heart chakra deals with love and unity. And so, again, this is feminine. It's going back and forth, by the way. This goes masculine to masculine to feminine to masculine again to feminine. And then the seventh chakra is actually a union of both. And that's where these two snake heads meet at the top. And really cool esoteric stuff right there, right? But let's see, what else is there? There's so much here to talk about. And by the way, guys, if you want to do the mantras I've been talking about the past few weeks, these are mantras I would recommend you do. So Vam, Lam, Ram, Yam, Ham, and Om. You're sure you guys have heard of Om. I can't even see this top. Yeah. Om. So these specific mantras are meant to like vigorate the emotional centers, or not just the emotional center, but all of the energy centers within you. And so if you ever feel like you don't, if you feel depressed, maybe, if you feel numb in any sort of way, I would recommend doing the lam, where you say lam to yourself over and over again. And it's a really good meditation, and it will invigorate all of the chakras within you. But numbness, dealing with depression, of course, the emotional center would be good because you will invigorate that emotional center within you. And meditation, it's a proven way to burn karma. Meditation in general is just a good way to burn karma. It's a great way to do that. So let's get into it. So the heart is dealing with direction. So what direction are you putting your consciousness into? whether you're putting your consciousness upper or lower. And it's also dealing with the identities that we carry within the ego. What identity are you acting on? Are you acting on the identity of, like I said, greed? Are you acting on the identity of the character that you are now? What's the face that you have on right now? And what's the identity that you're carrying? Because oftentimes we will defend this identity to the death. Like we will defend our identities so strongly so we don't feel threatened because we hold with our hearts so much that this is who I am and it cannot be threatened. But we must let go of that illusion. And that is why the heart it's imbalanced through attachment. And so if you want to balance the heart, you must lose attachments to all things, even the identity of yourself. And you must come into pure union with you and the universe, you and your soul, the spirit. And in order to do that, you need to quiet down the brain. Um, and another really cool, interesting thing, so the heart is slightly to the left in your chest, and the brain is the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, and the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. And it's also said that the right side deals with more creative, intuitive, types of acts. So the with the right brain controlling the creative intuition and the left and the heart being on the left side of the body, you see there's a really big connection there in feeling and just feeling the union and feeling the love within. The heart also connects you to higher realms. We'll talk about this later with the other chakras, because the other chakras do this as well, but it connects you to the higher realms. So if you ever call upon something or someone and ask for guidance or ask for help, they will come in some sort of way. It's a spirit that will come and help you and guide you along, but you need to be quiet within the heart to attract that spirit, to listen to its words of wisdom. And that's why before you go into a meditation, you ask, how am I supposed to do this? Or how am I supposed to do that? And it oftentimes it just works out and you find an answer after the meditation because you asked the question and you silence it, you silenced the heart and you just let the intuition flow through you. Um, and let's see what else. There's a lot of other really cool things. So the heart itself, there is heart tissue, the tissue that the heart is made up of is similar to brain tissue. It literally stores memories. I'm sure you guys have heard stories that whenever someone gets a heart transplant, the person who gets the heart transplant suddenly has a new taste of music, or they have a new favorite food, or they have something, because the heart deals with so much memory. And the Egyptians knew this 3,000, 4,000, I don't even know how long ago. Whenever they were writing as scriptures on the walls of their pyramids and stuff, they knew that the heart had so much significance. The brain actually meant very little to the Egyptians because the brain was dealing with logic and the heart was dealing with emotion and intuition and trust in the higher divine aspects of life. So the heart, it's so beautiful. It's such a great so fascinating to think about. But I'll tell you guys later about the Egyptian story. I'm going to try to stick to what's on the screen. It's easy for me to get ahead of myself. Hmm. But nonetheless, the heart is what chooses. So, with the heart being what chooses, like what life are you choosing right now? Oftentimes it's easy to get sidetracked and start saying that love is something out there. Love is something, or saying, I am loved if I do this. I am loved because I am this. Last week, we talked about the third chakra, and this is the chakra of identity. And here in the third chakra, it's all about what's the face that you're putting on, and then the heart will carry that out, right? So a lot of celebrities and actors, they're very balanced and they're very powerful in their third chakra, but if they're thinking to themselves, I am loved because I'm a celebrity, I am loved because I'm an actor, I am loved because I'm able to do this, if that's where they're gaining the love for themselves, they're blocking themselves from so much profound feelings of love, because each and every single one of us is loved for such a deeper reason, something that we can't even explain, something that we can't even fathom, the type of love that really runs through us. Like, if we could describe what love really means, it would be indescribable. It would be a feeling that we cannot describe with words. So oftentimes we can block the heart chakra and stay in the lower three chakras just by getting so attached to a certain identity and also getting so attached to anything, because love is everything. But there's lower forms of love. There's higher forms of love and there's lower forms of love. We can have love for a certain identity, like I said. We can have love for a certain way of being, a certain way of life, doing a certain thing. We can have love whenever other people give us love. Um, but there's such a greater type of love out there rather than just chasing. I feel good whenever my business is doing well, for example, right? So if I'm chasing that type of love, then that's just minimizing myself to such a greater, profound experience of love from the universe. When you meditate, you can call upon this love and you can feel it. And I'm sure some of you guys can even feel it rising within right now. But there's this divine love that's always around us. And it's beautiful. It's truly beautiful, but you can only feel it whenever you let go of the identities and you let go of the attachments that you have and you let go of, I need this to be happy. I need this to be happy. I need this to be happy. It's like we're always needing something, but that's the ego. The ego is what says I. The ego is saying I want something else. So that's how the heart chakra is going to be blocked. And another good question to ask here and meditate on is asking yourself, um, is my quest in life, is my goal right now to be loved by others or to be loved by myself? What resonates with you the most strongly? Do you feel like you yearn to be loved by others, or do you feel like you yearn to be loved by yourself? Maybe it's both, but this is a good question to ask yourself because it will point to what direction your attachment is going. I'm not saying either is good or bad. Both is the same. Um, but being loved by, if we yearn to be loved by others or yearn to be loved more just by ourselves, then why is that? If we want to be loved by ourselves more, then typically it's through achievement. Typically it's through accomplishment. We tell ourselves, I'm gonna love myself whenever I achieve this one thing. I'm gonna love myself whenever I get this done, or I'm gonna love myself whenever I feel this or do this. That's conditional love. And a lot of the time, love that we experience in this world is conditional. Unfortunately, even with our parents, of course, they can show true actions of genuine, unconditional love, but a lot of the time, the way that they love us, the words that they say to us, the words that people say to us, they say, you need to do this or else you're bad. It can create a distorted version of what life is really all about. And it can make someone feel like they're not truly loved. It can make someone feel like they're not loved because they did this one thing or because they did that one thing. And so love just naturally gets distorted. And this is where a lot of trauma gets built in that early childhood, those early childhood experiences where you feel like maybe you're not enough, or maybe you feel like this, or you feel like that, or you feel like you need to do something else. Anyway, you get the point. It's a good question to ask though. Do I strive to be loved by others or do I strive to be loved by myself? Typically, both of those requires you to do something. And that's where the issue arises, is feeling like I need to do something in order to achieve a sense of love. But like all of the great manifestation teachers say, all of the great spiritual teachers say, the feeling comes from within. You cannot search for a feeling outside of you. You must first create the feeling within. If you ever wish to influence someone, you must first see them in the way that you do not see them. If you wish to help a person who is on a bad path, if they're lying, they're deceiving, they're doing things that hurt people, that hurt themselves, that hurt others, you need to look at them with the eyes of love. You need to look at them with the eyes of love in order for them to truly change. And I'm not going to lie, it can be hard sometimes whenever you're so frustrated with someone to look at them through the eyes of love. But that is what we must do in order to transcend the physical world because it's all energy. It's all a matter of energy. What's happening in the astral plane right now and what's happening in the mental plane is an energetic thing. So if you're looking at someone, you're basically well, here's the thing. If you're looking at someone and you're looking at them with hatred or ill will and saying, I wish they would do this and they'd be so much better, you're energetically casting demons upon them where they're just going to keep acting the same way that they've been acting. They're not going to change, especially because you feel like there's something so inherently wrong with them. You need to open your heart there in that sense. If you really want to change your life, if you want to change another person's life, you need to open your heart to them. And like I said, this can be hard, but this is a great practice for altruistic type of love where you can connect yourself to divine love, where you can connect yourself to the love that's up above, the love that's higher, the love that is truly nurturing and truly giving. It's beautiful type of love, really. But we need to practice giving other people that type of love so we can truly make a difference. And it's good meditations to do, you know? If you're ever meditating and you focus on the feeling of peace, you focus on the feeling of love within, visualize that peace expanding outward to the people who need it. And visualize that peace, that love surrounding them, just embodying them and engulfing them. And you will make a really profound impact on that person just because you're giving them so much energetic love. The next time you talk to them, you're not even going to notice it. They're not going to notice it. But whenever you're talking, the energetic love that you gave them during meditation will still be there. It doesn't leave. And so there's like meditation in general and thinking about other people and thinking about, the battles going on right now in some places or thinking about the war-torn countries right now. Holding love in your heart and expanding your love outward to them and giving them as much love and care and blessings as possible. Very important. So yeah, it's a question of to get back to this question, are you striving to be loved by others or are you striving to be loved by yourself? It's kind of the same thing, but it will help you to pinpoint what is my attachment going to so you can help to erase that ego. Um, because it's all conditional love at the end of the day. So unconditional love is found here in the heart. Like I said, it's the problem that thinking of that something is going to bring us happiness. Something outside of you can never bring happiness. It may be a cause for happiness. It may be a short-lived amount of happiness, but it's not sustainable happiness. Unconditional love, the direction of your will, is found here in the heart. The heart always chooses. The heart chooses what direction it's going to go. So the ego wants to trap the heart. A lot of people get stuck here in the heart chakra because the ego is here and it wants to use its logic and reason to convince you that you should live this certain way, or you should live like this. But like I said, the heart chakra, it deals with so much more potentiality than just ego and identity. So that's why manifestations are actually so much easier whenever the heart is balanced, because whenever the heart is balanced, you become so lighthearted. And if you're trying to manifest anything, if you're trying to create a certain life, you really want the heart chakra to be as balanced as possible, because that's whenever you clear the way. Think of the heart like you could think of it as like a beacon. You could think of it as just a directional energy center. But whenever you have a clear heart and you have an open mind and you have a clear head, you're able to move so much better in the direction that you want to go. And you're able to call upon higher intuitions or higher spirits to guide you in the right direction as well. And that's exactly the problem is that we don't move past the heart chakra because we focus so much energy on desire rather than being. We want something outside of us so bad, but we're missing the point. In order to actually attain that thing and sustainably have it, we first need to feel it within our hearts. It says in the Bible, as man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The heart is just the most, all of them are equal, I guess, but I'd say it's the most powerful center because it's your direction. It's what you hold within your heart. That's what you're going to become. And so what you hold and what you feel within your heart is so impactful. The heart also deals with feeling, how you feel about something. Whenever something bad happens, how do you feel? Oftentimes, if you feel sad, you can feel it in your chest. You literally can feel it in your chest. And all of the other chakras, higher, lower, in the middle, which is the heart is directly in the middle. They're communicating with the heart and they're giving information to the heart. The upper chakras are giving very good information to the heart, but oftentimes they're so quiet that we don't even listen to them. And the lower chakras, like for example, the sacral chakra is also dealing with a lot of feeling as well. So if you ever have like a bad gut feeling, that's where it is. It's in the sacral chakra. You have a bad gut feeling about something, or you have a good feeling in your stomach about something. It relays that information to the heart, and the heart says, "Oh, okay, I'll take that path, or I won't take that path," whatever it may be. But manifestations just become so much easier when the heart is balanced because you become so lighthearted and you gain access to this intuition that typically you wouldn't have access to. And so this is the toroidal field that surrounds the heart. There's actually a electromagnetism test where they measured the brain and the electromagnetic field went out only like 3 feet or 2 feet away from the brain, but the heart it goes out like 2 meters or 3 meters. It goes out very far, because like see this photo, whenever you're around someone, you can literally feel their presence. It's not just some woo-woo thing. We can literally feel other people's presence because of what they hold within their heart. If you ever go to a room full of people and you feel like a dark energy in the room or you feel a negative energy in the room, it's because of what the people are holding within their hearts. Maybe a fight just broke out and everyone's feeling very tense. So you walk in the room and everything just seems off. Or you're just around a certain person and they seem like they have a heavy heart. Whenever you hear someone has a heavy heart, it's true. What they hold within their heart, whether it's heavy or whether it's light, that's what their manifestation is going to be. And that's what their being is. That's what their essence is, you could say. It's all found within the heart. So, with all that being said, what is real love and why does the heart symbolize love? Well, like I said, the heart, it's like the energy that we give off. So the energy that you give off, if you give off warm energy, if you give off loving energy to people, then that's exactly what you're going to give off. And whenever we're dealing with the heart and real love, these real higher concepts of love, it's indescribable, really. True love at the end of the day is like, it's just something that it's unconditional. I've heard stories of people going to astral planes and meeting astral entities, spiritual entities that have such a deep sense of love about them that the projector just breaks down and starts crying. They can't even comprehend the type of love that they feel. This is the type of beings that we think about whenever we think of like Jesus Christ or Buddha or Muhammad. People like this, very holy people that have experienced so much and they've practiced loving people so much. And they have so much unconditional love in the hearts no matter who or what the problem is. So, if you were to ask the question, what is the direct reality of what the word love points to? It's it's embodying of everything. It's everything. Everything is love. And so if you've ever heard the words love and light, I'm sure you guys maybe have heard the words love and light, light and love. Um, The reason those words are so powerful is because love is the foundation of manifestation. That's why the heart chakra is so important and meditating on it is so important because you help to see what you're manifesting. Love is the foundation of manifestation. Whether you love something good or you love something bad or whatever. If you hate something, then you're not going to manifest it. If you hate something, then maybe you will manifest it because you actually put so much energy into it, it still ends up happening. So love is everything. Love is everywhere. People go to war because of love. I know that might sound weird, but it's true. Countries start fights with each other because they have love for some belief that they have. You know, they have love for something and they want that thing. And so love is the manifestation, and light is it's like the precursor to the manifestation. It's like the spiritual body, it's the spiritual realm. It's what comes before the love arrives. So light is always there, but love is what directs that light in the direction that whatever direction it's going to go. And so that's why you may hear um, Mother Universe, that the universe is motherly. It's because whenever we're referring to the universe is like the womb of creation. It's literally the womb. And then whatever comes out of the womb is love. Whatever comes out of the womb is the manifestation, which is the masculine. So in this case, love would be the masculine and light would be the feminine. Light is everywhere, though. Light is everywhere. It's about what we do with that light that creates the manifestation to become what it is. And really, what we want to do at the end of the day is rise back upward to become one with the light again. We become light. We become light, lighthearted. Why do all these words make so much sense? They all come from the same roots. So light, you're lighthearted, light in the heart. It feels light. And also light is all around us. There's never any darkness. You could say there is darkness, but that's another conversation. Light is all around us, though. It surrounds us. We breathe light. When you take a deep breath, just breathing, you feel the love of the universe moving through you, and it keeps you alive. And your oxygen in the air, it moves through your blood, and the blood flows through your heart, which then goes into your lungs, which keeps you alive. It keeps you standing. It keeps you going. So focusing on this heart gland when you meditate is a very powerful thing to do. Just focusing on it and feeling the energy move through it can be so beneficial. So, love is a profound thing, obviously. We want love to be as pure as possible. We don't want to have conditional love. I feel love whenever things are going good for me. I feel love whenever everything adds up. I feel love whenever everything makes sense. It's just selfish. It's just ego. But we want to feel love in every situation, no matter what. Whenever we feel love, we can truly become lighthearted. Whenever we have love for all things, we don't need to worry about it anymore. Everything naturally just flows to us how we want because our emotional association to that thing is shrouded in love. And so whenever we look at something with love, it's going to manifest in kind. It's going to manifest in the way that we see it due to the law of mentalism. The law of mentalism states that however you feel about something, that's going to be the outcome of it. That's also the law of attraction. But you want to just feel love towards all things. And then whenever you have that type of clear, light heart, things will become so much easier and you'll start to create the life that you really, really want to. And through meditation. Meditation helps so much doing that. Um, I would have never started the Instagram. I would never started this business. I would have never started anything that I do. I probably would still be working my old job if I never meditated. Meditation is just, it changed my life because it actually burns karma. It actually like helps you to realize like, oh, maybe I don't want to live like this or whatever. It helps you to realize so many deep things about yourself. And you don't necessarily need to come out of a meditation with a logical understanding. A lot of the time, it's an emotional understanding. A lot of the time, you don't need to intellectually understand what you see during your meditations. It's picked up through emotion as well. So you don't need to worry so much about like what did I learn? What did I come to with this meditation? Just trust. Just trust that you got the knowledge that you need. That's half of it, honestly. Because you're not always going to see like a intellectual reason for something or an intellectual outcome that just suddenly makes sense. Um, a lot of time you just do really need to trust the meditations. And so, within this whole realm of love, it deals with expanding awareness beyond the idea of ourselves, focusing on things that's not just us. Like we focus so much on jobs, hobbies, drama, society, so many different things we're putting our love into. We give love to our job, we give love to our hobby, we give love to drama. And so, do you finally understand what I mean by love and like how deep it really goes? We give love to problems. We give love to suffering. And even if it's an unconscious suffering, we give love to the problems in our life because that's our karma. That's just what we've grown accustomed to through the tricks of the ego and the ego telling us you're like this, or the ego's telling us you're like this. And we believe it and we give love to that idea. That's not the classical definition of love that you would expect, but that is universal love. That is what real love actually is. We give love to things that even create pain in our lives. It's absurd. I work with a lot of people that it's like I'm talking to them and it's like I'm really wondering to myself, like, do you realize that you're just creating this suffering on your own? And some people are just very unaware. So it's a very big process to help people understand that all of their suffering is coming from them. But it's like sometimes it's like a perpetual victimhood. I'm sure you guys may know some people that are like this, where it's like perpetual victimhood, where they can't take ownership. It's kind of frustrating to talk to people like that, of course. But of course, we need to give love to them. We need to shine the light of God onto them. Because what is God? God is love and light. God is pure love. God is pure being. So the best thing that we can do for people who are unaware and don't see the suffering that they've given to themselves Give them love. Give them as much love as you can. There's not much else to do there because it's like you can't hop into someone's brain and convince them they're creating their own suffering. It's very hard to do. Maybe you guys have tried that before and you see that it doesn't work. A lot of the time, people will double down and just keep defending their point of view and keep defending it and keep defending it and say, no, 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 I'm right. I'm right. This is right. But like a good rule to live by, just to make sure that none of you guys are falling down that path, is the understanding that everything is a half truth. Just the simple understanding that everything is a half truth. If you think something is correct, you think something is wrong, you think this is right and this is wrong, it's a half truth. It's not the full truth. There's always more to the other side of the coin. And it's always good to listen to people. Listen to people and understand them. That's a really good way to give love as well. Just understand people and hear what they have to say. Because it's so easy to just get lost in the ego. But whenever we can, it's a balance, of course, because if we truly understood someone with 100% capacity, we would fall down to their level of consciousness. But we could also rise up to their level of consciousness. Um, but if we listen to people too hard and sympathize and feel them too much, we can bring ourselves down in the process because we've given so much of our attention and our energy to them. Oftentimes, I want to go back to this photo. So oftentimes you see this toroidal field right here. Whenever two people are talking to each other, whatever level of consciousness they're at, whatever frequency they hold within their hearts, whatever it is that they hold within their hearts, those two people will come to a compromise. They will always come to a compromise no matter what level they're on, what area of consciousness they're in. They will come and try to meet a compromise somehow. And that's how, whenever you're around certain people, you feel your energy draining. So it's important to have love for people, but not fall into their frequency. You don't want to fall into their frequency, but you can still have love for people and you can give them love and give them understanding and give them compassion and help them in the best way that you can. But if you listen too much and have too much sympathy, like I said, you can fall into their frequency. You don't want to fall into another person's frequency. And that's actually a great point about the heart. The heart needs to be decisive. The heart cannot be faltered. The heart cannot be swayed in any direction outside of your own. You must choose your own direction. And doing astrological research, it's really interesting. I'm a Cancer. Some of you guys may know that. Some of you guys may be a Cancer as well. Cancers, we can literally pick up on emotions that aren't even ours. And sometimes it can feel so strong, like we're almost thinking like, is this my emotion? But no, cancers need to be aware of that, that they're very like empathetic and emotional people. They can pick up on frequencies that are not even theirs. So cancers just need to be aware of that. Sorry, I don't know much. I would say stuff about all of the other zodiac signs, but I don't know enough about them. I know a lot about Cancer though. But cancers, they can literally pick up and then their frequency will get dropped. Their frequencies can drop really easily. That's why cancers are so emotional, because if they're dealing with a super emotional person, like a hateful person, that hateful person will fill up a cancer's heart as well. So that's why I said the quote actually the other day in the group. Protect your heart, because your heart leadeth. Your heart is what leads. Your heart is what guides. So you must protect your heart. You can only give your heart to someone that you fully trust. Give your heart to someone that you trust, that you know will guide you in the right direction. But see, if you're like a super emotional person, like me sometimes, which I've learned a lot about rising above that. you need to literally guard your heart. You need to guard your heart to not get pulled down into other people's frequencies too much. You know exactly what I mean. It's a journey that you guys need to take on your own. But really good awareness though. Need really good awareness. Okay, I'm gonna get through like one more slide, and I think we probably have like 30 minutes left in this presentation, if I had to guess, but it's almost been an hour, so maybe in one more slide or so, I'm going to call on that break. Maybe at the end of this presentation, we can have a meditation if you guys like that. I was thinking about that. Nonetheless, I'll get back into it. I'm gonna finish this slide at least. So, like I said, you got to expand awareness beyond what what your idea of love is, because love is everything. Love can be higher or lesser. Love can be fully encompassing or love can be isolated. A lot of the time, love gets isolated. And as we are spiritual seekers, we do not want to isolate our love in one direction. We want to have our love spread out while also being untouched, unfazed by frequencies that are not ours, by frequencies outside of us. Do not get affected by those things. Guard your heart while also having deep, deep love for everyone, no matter who it is. But you don't need to absorb pain to love someone hard. Um, let's see. So that's the divine love, the sea of love. Everything is love. Living within, another good point is you guys may come to a point, or maybe you already have realized, the realization that you are consciousness living within consciousness. And this is a profound realization because this is whenever you start to see that everything is love. And whatever it is that we're living inside of, the air, the room that I'm in, the room that you guys are in, the computers that we're on, everything around us is literally just a formulation of love. Everything is love. Like I was saying, the foundation of everything is love and light. And so you are just an individuated consciousness, which is experiencing a greater consciousness. So you're like the microcosm within the macrocosm. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff indeed. But that's something to consider, that everything around you is consciousness and everything around you is working for you. And this just goes to point to the fact that we are all one. And here's a good example. Ask and ye shall receive. This is a quote from the Bible. Ask and ye shall receive. This is a testament to the fact that we are all one with God. We are all one with the Creator, or this thing that we're in, the universe, Mother Universe, Father Creator, whatever it is. We are within this infinite sea of consciousness that you are a part of as well. So whenever you ask, you shall receive. Mental declaration always leads to physical creation, so as long as you are open and receptive to it. Mental declaration always leads to physical creation, so as long as you are open and receptive to it. You will manifest whatever it is that you ask for, as long as you're open and receptive to it. You just need to be open to it. You just need to let the opportunities come. And this is a testament to this infinite sea of love in that you're secretly connected to everything. It's like a secret, like you don't really know it, but you also do kind of know it. But you're connected to everything. You make the calling. Have you ever thought about someone and they call you? Just little things like that. They call you or they text you or they email you right after you think about them. Isn't that crazy? It always happens though. It's always happening. I'm sure you guys experience it a lot as well. Um, so yeah, I think right here I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna take a little break right here, guys. It's been about an hour, so if you guys want to go take like a coffee break or go get some bathroom time, restroom time, coffee break. I'm going through these chats now. Zia, I see you've been humming Om. That's good. Ray, it's interesting you said that. The best way to know God is to love many things. I've never heard that quote, but that's really cool. It's a really good point. Glad you said that. Yeah, that's cool, Ray. Thanks. Yeah, and Zia, like you said, with the Om mantra, another really good mantra for you to try is this mantra of the heart. It's the O mantra, not Om with the M at the end, but just O. And then another good mantra with the heart, I will say, what was it? Yam. Yam is what invigorates the heart. You know, Jaka, I actually got that quote, mental declaration leads to physical creation. I actually heard that quote from another guy, super smart guy, but it's one of my favorites because it's so true. It's just so true. I've lived it out so many times. Like, whenever you make the calling, it always just comes, you know? It always comes no matter what, if you're open and receptive to it.
That's your phrase. Like
I
every time,
love
every class you say this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've like claimed it as my own.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go. Okay, for now we'll be back. We'll start again at it's 10:59 right now. We'll start again at 11:02 or 11:03. I don't know how long it's been already. Let's just do 11:03, 11:02. I'll come back in a minute. I'm gonna go fill up on some coffee. You guys stay here. We'll probably be done with the presentation in about 30 minutes or so, around there. So I'll see you guys in a minute.
yeah. See ya. Carlos.
Hello.
Hey, Zia, and
Hi.
Jimmy, you were guys on you were girls on the last class?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up?
Huh?
What's up?
Jimmy did this break?
Yes, he did. I think he's gonna start doing it more.
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes, and you.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It gives me some time to get some water. But I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Hey guys. Okay, it's 11:03. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, at the end of this, it seemed like you guys did like the meditation idea. So at the end of this presentation, we'll do a quick meditation and yeah, it'll be a good one. We're gonna send out thoughts to the people around the world right now in any area that's in conflict. I think that's a good idea. I know it's a good idea. Okay, guys. Well, if everyone is ready to go, um, let's hop back into the heart chakra. Still recording. Do, 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 do. View. Slideshow. So, like I was talking about, what is real love? Um, in order to become the most powerful spiritual creators, in order to create the life that we want to feel the sense of love. We want to feel clear-hearted. And whenever we're clear-hearted, whenever we have open hearts, we can be light-hearted because we're understanding towards all realities. And that's not only towards other people, that's also towards ourselves. We have love towards ourselves. And we're not so hard on ourselves. And we're not so mean to ourselves, saying, you need to do this, or you need to be this way, or I don't like the way that you acted back then. Talking to ourselves that way, it's not love. We want to treat ourselves just as we treat other people. If we give other people more love than we give ourselves, then we need to give ourselves more love. Treat ourselves the way that we treat other people, or treat other people the way that we treat ourselves, whatever it may be. That kind of goes back to that question I asked earlier. A really important question to ask yourself is, um, do you strive to receive love from others or do you strive to receive love from yourself? So, when we're dealing with this heart chakra, there's so much to it, and it's such a beautiful chakra because within it, there's this spiritual instinct to find love. So, what does that spiritual instinct entail? What does the spiritual instinct of love really mean? Well, the reason we want to get into relationships so much sometimes is because of the soul's or the spirit's instinct to unite with someone. Of course, we can look at it in a primal way and we say, it's because of the chemicals, because of the hormones, that sort of stuff. But every single creature on this planet does that same thing. Of course, I think there's some types of animals that procreate on their own, which is quite interesting. We could look into we could have a spiritual conversation on why do some animals not need to mate, but why do they procreate on their own, right? But outside of that, when two beings come together in union, it creates the infinite spirit because we're looking at ourselves. We're looking directly at ourselves. That's why love feels so good. You can even do this with a tree, for example. You could do this with like anything if you let yourself love deeply enough. But whenever it comes to human consciousness in particular, it is most powerful. It is most powerful because we see our own egos. Whenever whenever fights arise, whenever traumas arise, whenever pain arises, it's ego talking to us. It's karma whispering from the past telling us this is something that you need to work on. What was a consistent pattern that you saw? I used to do this question a lot in my earlier presentations. I just got reminded of that. But it comes up again and again because it's so important. What's a consistent pattern that you saw growing up as a child? Even if your parents were putting something onto you, what did it make you feel? If your parents were the attackers, like if they were the ones affecting you, that's very possible. Like they're saying mean things, doing bad stuff, whatever. How did it make you feel though? Whenever trauma happens, whenever pain happens, whenever fights happen, it's revealing something to us about our karma, specifically in the way that we react. A lot of the time, it's good to look at the universe as there's inherently no meaning to it, as in there's no reason that something outside of us is happening. It's pointless to look at it that way sometimes because sometimes we need to look at the universe purely in our reactions. You guys have heard the quote before, know yourself to know the universe. Know yourself to know the universe because your reactions reveal to you what you hold within your heart. So that's why we have a spiritual instinct to be in a relationship with other people because we know that it will reveal to us what's within our hearts because our ego the e- the ego blocks us from wanting to, well, the ego blocks us from even seeing clearly. The ego blocks us from seeing in terms of oneness. The ego is what individuates us, or the personality is what individuates us. But we can become one with everything around us again. Acting in ego will create separation. Acting in essence will create peace. It will create unity. It will create union with all things. And the personality is what chooses. The heart is what chooses, you could say. The heart chooses whether it's ego or whether it's union with everything. So that's why everyone has this natural inclination to be in relationships. But like I said earlier, a lot of the time, those relationships, they are twisted and we end up breaking up with people and we end up not lasting in relationships because of selfish egoic desires. A lot of the time, that's what happens, especially with modern love nowadays. People break up so much because they say they can't stand their partner when really it's themselves that they can't stand. People can't stand themselves whenever they're with another person because of the feelings the other person makes them feel. I did that in parentheses or quotations. The reason I did that in quotations is because we say, you made me feel this way. You did this to me. You did that to me. Whenever it's our own reactions that we're choosing either consciously or unconsciously. And these reactions typically come from childhood or from a past life that we may not even be aware of. But we hate those reactions. We hate the way that they make us feel. It's like the partner isn't giving you enough attention or whatever. And you're just like, you're not giving me enough attention. Whenever we're not even turning inward and looking at ourselves and asking, why do I want attention? Why do I want attention? Those are the questions that we need to ask whenever it comes to love, especially in romantic relationships. Like we always say, we gotta love ourselves, love yourself. There's some truth there. But at the same time, loving yourself can be a very childish act. To just love yourself and put yourself first. Sometimes that can be the most immature, egoic thing that you can possibly do. True love is altruistic. Um, but it's altruistic towards everyone, even yourself. And that's where it's kind of one-sided to just say, love yourself. Altruistic love is to take care of yourself and the people around you as well. Not in a self-sabotaging type of way, but in a way that uplifts your spirit and uplifts other spirits. But it's easy to get caught up in ego and act in a selfish decision. It's easy to do that a lot of the time. Um, because we just want something else. We think something else is going to make us feel better. We think some other relationship will make us feel better. Especially with social media nowadays, we see like all these relationships online. We say, "Oh, I see this couple, they're doing this. Why aren't we doing that? Oh, I see this couple, look at them. Why aren't we like that?" And we compare and we say, our love isn't the best type of love. This is the best type of love." And this is like a blockage of the heart because you're displacing identity. You're displacing identity. You're displacing attachment. You're putting attachment to something else rather than what's here right now. Focus on the present. Focus on this present moment and let stillness come to the heart. Meditate until you fully feel stillness. And whenever you feel the stillness within your heart, you'll make the right decision. Um, but yeah, a lot of the time, especially in today's world, we're dealing with a lot of selfish type of love. But really, love is so altruistic and so unconditional that it hurts. It's just an unfathomable type of love. And we really need to learn how to love in order to be true spiritual seekers. We need to learn how to love ourselves as well. Because it's not just about how we love others, but also about how we love ourselves. So that's why earlier I've said just saying love yourself is quite one-sided and it can be quite dangerous. It can be a quite dangerous statement if used incorrectly. So sometimes if someone lives by the statement of love yourself so much, they might even love their ego. They might even love their egos, the things that literally hurt themselves and hurt other people. You know, I've worked with people, I've worked with a lot of people, but I've worked with people that do that to themselves. They stand by their identity so much and they love their identity and they don't want to leave their identity. They don't want to identity shift that they're hurting themselves. Like it's literally just painful to watch. And I'm sure like you guys have seen that before too. It's quite an interesting case study. But they love themselves so much and they love the state that they're in. They love this fantasy that they're playing. They love the delusional world that they're in that they won't give it up. But you need to expand love beyond what you know. It's like Ray said in the chats. Vincent van Gogh said, "Love as many things to know God." I think that's what it said. Um, but you need to expand beyond your horizons of what you typically would love, what you typically would do. You need to expand beyond the comfort zone. Go beyond what you think is right. Go beyond what you think is wrong. Move beyond all of that and move into something that's it's transcendental, truly. So love breaks down all walls whenever it's acted in its highest form because it connects you to the infinite spirit and you'll start to see that the infinite spirit has no limitations, it has no confines, it has no boundaries, it has no boxes, it doesn't box anything in. And that's what opinions in love do. That's why we can be such bad relationship partners sometimes because we cast opinions onto the partner and we say, you should be like this, and you should be like this. True love is like you see them to be in their best light. And whenever you see someone to be in their best light, it's like you plant a seed, a beautiful seed of essence, seed of essence. And as you continue to see the person in their best light, no matter what they're doing, you're holding all of their darkness. You're holding within your arms all of their pains and all of their sadnesses and all of their toxic traits. Everything that's bad, you're holding within yourself everything that's bad, and you only see the good. You plant this seed of love that allows them, your partner, to become so beautifully amazing, and also at the same time will allow yourself to become so amazing as well because you're allowing yourself to love so unconditionally, no matter what the person does. And so a lot of the time we're throughout life, we're just breaking down the walls of what our parents told us what they think is right. A lot of the time you need to ask yourself, am I living by what my parents in their relationship did, or am I creating a new foundation of what I want my relationship to be like? We just copy our parents a lot of the time. We don't even realize it. That's like it's like 70% of our life is just copying our parents. So we need to ask ourselves, are we copying our parents or are we doing something that we really love? something that our heart truly wants, something of a higher octave rather than listening to the ego narratives that want us to stay in a box. And that's to get back to that box point, we can sometimes place people in boxes. Basically, this is an opinion. You place an opinion on them, whether it's negative or even sometimes positive, and you limit them to just that. But love symbolizes the infinite spirit. And if we want to find true love and balance the heart, we will come into contact with the infinite spirit. We'll come into contact with this infinite divine love, wisdom that surrounds us. So, like I said here, the spirit yearns for true love, love that holds even the darkest emotions and realities. And so that's what true unconditional love does. It's selfless. It's selfless, and sometimes it's even painful. And that's another thing about love is that we don't want to avoid fights. That's another misconception that people have. When dealing with love, we do not want to avoid fights. We want to fight for the relationship. You guys may have heard that before. You want to fight for the relationship. You need to have a passion to fight against the problem, against the discrepancy, the mismatch in frequency that's happening. You need to fight for the relationship though sometimes, truly, because love is symbolic of the heart. And the heart is passionate. The heart is fiery as well. Even though the third chakra was also fiery, like I talked about last week, the heart is also passionate. And the heart is also fiery. So to enact in true love, it's fiery. It's holding someone up even whenever they're in their lowest state and they don't even want to be held up. You're still trying your best to give them love even if they don't feel like it's love, even if they feel like it's toxic, it's poison. Sometimes you just need to give people space. Do it with your head on your shoulders, you know. Um, use your head, don't go over your head type deal. But a lot of the time you do really need to fight for love, not fight in the way of I am right and you're wrong and getting aggressive with each other and throwing things at each other. Not that type of fight, but fighting to figure out the problem, to fighting to figure out what within me is creating this negative feeling between us, or what within you is creating this negative feeling between us, or what between the both of us, maybe coming from our childhood, maybe coming from our belief systems, is causing this type of pain between us. So these are questions to ask when you're in a relationship. And that's why, to get back to the point, that's why so many spiritual teachings and religious teachings say to be with one person, because being with one person doesn't allow an outing. It doesn't allow some type of escape. You don't just escape and run away. You know, things get hard and then I'm gonna run away. Because like the true love of the universe holds pain. It holds misery sometimes. It really does. It holds the pain, and that's the hardest part about love is that we need to learn how to hold pain within our hearts, but still choose to love. And so it's hard sometimes, but that's also how you raise in consciousness as well, is fighting for love. Yeah, it's a beautiful concept. It's truly, truly a beautiful concept. Um, what else is there? I feel like there's so much there with love to learn and to unravel and to speak about. Maybe in our breakout rooms today, you guys can do that. Love. Love. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so continuing on though. The ego will twist love, and like I said, it'll project its own image, its own desire, onto the other person, saying, you should be like this, you should be like that. So, like I said, relationships can be a great reflection of a person's ego and understanding it, but you need to use it wisely. You need to use the relationships wisely. You don't just want to hop into a relationship, like it's consumerism. Sometimes people hop into relationships as if it's a consumerism type of thing. That takes the heart away from infinite consciousness and puts the heart into ego, consumption. I just want to consume. I just want to feel good. I just want to feel this. I just want to feel that. It's fascinating. There's so many things that we can put our direction into that are just ill will that we don't need to be putting our direction into. Whenever we look at things that are more hard, that require more discipline, they will grow our spirit so much in consciousness and awareness. Discipline is something that spirituality, I don't hear a lot talked about in spirituality at least, but discipline, especially spiritual discipline, is like one of the best traits someone can have. Discipline, it's to it's to do the hard thing to not even like sometimes the hard thing isn't always like the bad thing, you know? It's not always the actual hard thing in the way that you might think it is. Because sometimes the ego will lead you down hard roads. The ego can lead you down a path of pain because it's obsessing so much about one certain thing. The ego can obsess so much about this thing, but actually, the harder thing would be to turn your love away from that obsession and put your love elsewhere rather than putting your love into a particular obsession. Like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I want this. But like that, it'll seem like that might be the right path because that's really hard to achieve. And it's hard. And like talking about spiritual discipline is like, oh, I need discipline. I'm going to do the hard thing. But sometimes that hard thing is an obsession. And so really the goal here is to just be lighthearted and to hold love within your heart. I guess that's it there. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, relationships will reveal what you hold within. And instead of looking inwards, sometimes we blame it on the other person and say, you're the reason that I'm feeling this way, or you're the reason that this happened, you know? And like I said, many approach relationships as consumerism rather than altruism. You know, true love is to be there for someone, is to hold their pain and just hold on to them and hold all of their toxic traits and even through the hard times. Because if you want to be with that person, you will be with that person and you will choose to be with that person. If you want to be with that person and work it out and discover yourself through that person, then you will do that. And it can be hard sometimes, but that's a road that you must walk to, find that spiritual discipline, like I was talking about. So this is a really interesting point. You see here on this chart, the heart center lies at the middle of the infinite symbol. So you could look at this as the infinite symbol is a beautiful symbol, by the way. All of the numbers are within it. I wish I could draw on my screen right now, but I think you guys can see my mouse if I'm correct. There's every single number within the infinite symbol. The six is right here, six. The nine is right here, nine. The eight obviously is right here. The seven is seven could be done in a few different ways. Seven could be done like this. It could also be done like this. But anyway, you get the point. Every single number is within the infinite symbol because the infinite symbol is everything. The infinite symbol is actually just a circle that's flipped around upside down. And everything comes from this center. So you could look at this and say, this lower half of the infinite symbol deals with ego, and this upper half of the infinite symbol deals with the higher consciousness and those sorts of higher realities that you can go. And the heart is right there in the center that is always experiencing things, always absorbing things, and always choosing things. So the heart being in the center of all of the chakras, it's where you turn energy upward rather than downward. A lot of the time, people will, it'll get to the heart, and then it'll just get smacked back downward because we're not ready yet to raise the love to the higher octaves that it can be. And also, you can look at this like the upper and lower as where the heart, it's dealing with choice. You know, like I said earlier, the heart, you need decisive action, decisive choice, because if the heart doesn't know what it wants, then the angel and the demon within will always be wrestling. You know, and obviously the angel would be moving upward and the demon would be moving downward, but there's always that conversation within you of the angel and the demon. That's why, you know, you have so many symbols in stories about the angel and the demon standing on the shoulder. It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to choose? Am I going to do this or am I going to do this? A lot of the time, that's happening. It's happening all the time within us, choosing the angel or the demon. And this is where, you know, we need to be mature with ourselves. We need to be spiritually mature with ourselves and not lie to ourselves. Stop the lies, you know, we need to be mature and disciplined and actually choose the right decision every single time. We inherently know what the angel on our shoulder would do. We know what the angel on our shoulder would do, but oftentimes the ego, the demon, is so much easier. You guys have probably heard of the quote, the road to hell feels a lot like heaven, and the road to heaven feels a lot like hell. There's so much truth to it. The road to heaven is going to feel like hell because it's hard. Because picking the angel is oftentimes going to be the harder path, but you always know the right decision. You always know the more spiritual discipline decision. You always know that. So this is the heart. The heart chakra is where you start to practice discipline and you start being mature with yourself and being honest with yourself and not lying to yourself, saying, well, you know, I think I can do this one last time or whatever, whether it's an addiction or whether it's yeah, like consumerism, for example, or gluttony, you know, over drinking, over excess. The heart knows, you know, if you unlock the heart chakra, you know what direction that you really should be going, but it's just a matter of choosing that direction and choosing that direction time and time and time again. And also, whenever we're working with the heart chakra, it's easy to not know the right direction because the heart chakra is that of air. So you have so many different directions you're being pulled in. You're like, ah, am I supposed to do this? Or am I supposed to do this? Or am I supposed to do this? To deal with this, you must silence the mind because the egos and all of these different things want to influence your heart. And this kind of goes back to the symbology of the angel and the demon. What direction are you going to choose? So you need to first silence the mind, silence all of the noise and the chatter, and let yourself be the eye in the center of the storm, where you witness everything passing by you. You even see the egos moving around you. Let me get through this fast because somehow it's already 11:30. So, the heart is what we hold within, right? The heart is always what we hold within. That's the frequency. What we hold within is our frequency. So the heart holds all of our experiences, thoughts, feelings, and karma. But what we do with these things is what makes the difference. That's a good point to talk about in our group later. What do you hold within? So, what do you hold within? Here I have a picture of Anubis. This is the Egyptian god of death. And so whenever you die, your heart is weighed on a scale. And if your heart is lighter than a feather, then you will transcend upward to the heavens. If your heart is heavier than a feather, then you will go back down to the lower dimensions, like the physical plane. Your heart needs to be light. Desire creates a heavy heart. Ye- So many things can create a heavy heart. Attachments, usually desire and attachment go hand in hand. There's like voids sometimes within our heart where we feel like we're not good enough about something. And so typically that points to desire. Like I feel like I don't have enough. I feel like I don't have enough love within me, so I search for love outside of me. And I want love, and I need relationships, and I need people to tell me that they love me. That's pointing to a void within the heart, but that's a heavy heart still. It's a heavy heart. So we want to do the spiritual work and the work here so that whenever we die, our hearts are light and we have a good, peaceful afterlife. Whether or not you believe in reincarnation, whether or not you believe in heaven and hell, it does not matter. Anubis will still be there, and your heart is going to be red like spot on. Whatever it is, whatever it is that you hold within your heart. The easiest way to go about this, I reckon, is to just let yourself be lightheartedness. Don't obsess. Obsession typically is the cause of most pains that we all experience. It's just obsession. I really, really want this, or I really, really want that. I really want this, and I really want that. And that's why the heart is blocked by attachment, right? So it's like, I really want this to be happy, and I really want this to be happy. But that's where your heart becomes heavy, and at the time of death, your heart will be weighed on a scale and it will be heavier than a feather. And you do not want that. You want your heart to be light. So just let whatever it is happen, happen. Be trusting. Because if you want a light heart and also at the same time to connect to the higher realms of existence, you need a light heart. Because whenever you have a light heart, you're able to connect with the higher realms and they will give you insights. Insights on how do you manifest the desire that you want? How do you manifest this? How do you manifest that? If you're trying to manifest something and you have a bunch of obsession with it, then, I mean, for one, subconsciously, you're telling yourself, I don't really have it because obsession indicates to the subconscious lack. And for two, if you have obsession, that just creates a heavy heart. So just let it come and trust that it will come. You don't even need it. At the same time, be indifferent to it, that sort of thing. So that was another question I wanted to ask in our groups later is how heavy is your heart? This is something to think about. How heavy is your heart? How heavy is your heart? What do you hold within your heart? What desires do you want to fulfill? What do you want to fix within yourself? Is it a healthy fixation or is it an unhealthy obsession? Do I really, really, really want to fix it? Are you okay with it? Do you feel good within yourself about it right now? Typically, whenever we're dealing with these types of traumas, we need to let love fill ourselves up from within to where we can just let go. We don't even need the desire anymore. We don't even need to feel better anymore because we have so much love within ourselves. It's like a lot of the time we're looking for, we're looking for peace and we're looking for enlightenment whenever it was always there all along. We just needed to stop looking. Because as long as we're looking for something, we surely don't have it obviously. As long as I'm looking for the answers to something, I don't have it. We don't have it if we're looking for it. So you just become peaceful. Be present for this moment. Be present for what you have right now. What egos arise that are telling you you desire this, this, or this? What are they and why do they come? When do they come? Ask yourself these types of questions and maybe keep a journal so you can just write all this down. Say, I begin to desire heavily whenever this happens, or I feel this way whenever this happens. These are weights of the heart, and we want to become weightless within the heart so we don't have so much pains, but we feel pure and sure of ourselves within our hearts. So also in this, you see this little bird right here. This is the soul. That's the spirit, you could say. It's always with us and it's always watching. This bird, Ba, represents the soul or the non-physical being. So this is always with us. And if the heart is heavier than the feather, then the lion, crocodile, or hippo will eat the bird, the soul, and you will be casted back downward to lower dimensions. And this is what people call heaven or hell. But of course, we need to be real with ourselves. I'm not saying like the classical Christianity terms of some vague type of hellish experience or some vague heaven experience. I'm obviously talking about consciousness. These are states of consciousness. You will be casted back down into the physical world where consciousness is a lot more muddy. Or if your heart is lighter than a feather, then you'll be moved upward where things make a lot more sense and there's so much clarity. But of course, this is always happening within us right now. To have clarity, you can have clarity right now. You don't need to die and go to heaven to have clarity. You can create heaven here on earth always, but there's also hell here on earth as well. So it's a matter of what you hold within your heart and simply just having the desire to become more spiritual, having the desire to become lighthearted, having the desire to feel at peace, to feel free will lead you to the place that will take you there. It's as simple as that. All you need is the desire to be better. And you know how to get there inherently. But the ego works very well to keep us from doing that because it's so easy to act by ego, but it's so hard sometimes to act by essence and act by what's right within us. So this guy, the soul, he's always there with us and he's always watching and he just watches what we do with our heart. Um, so like I said, the labyrinth of the heart is there's a lot of things going on within the heart. There's a lot of different energies trying to control the heart, so you must calm down. So this is kind of getting to the point where what are the practices, you know? Um, what is the direction? I'm gonna write this down because this is a good talking point for the groups later on. Energies trying to control. So you need to learn how to sit within the storm and just meditate on the heart and meditate all of the on the different things coming through you and moving through you and what direction you want to go. And so whenever it comes to creating a powerful heart, you never try. You always must do. So many people say that they're trying something, but they never just fully commit. To try means that there's still room for failure. So Jesus said in Matthew 5:37, "Let your yeses be yes and your noes be no. Anything else comes not from heaven, but from adversary." The heart deals with a decisiveness. That's why the heart is symbolic of Leo, the lion, the pride. I know what I want. I know what I am. I know what I'm going to do. So let your yes be yes and your no's be no. What does adversary mean in this quote? Adversary is other egoic entities. It's other spiritual entities trying to sway you from the path of what you desire. And these spiritual entities always want to control you. They want to manifest themselves in your life. That's where the word possession comes from. You're possessed by a demon that's trying to control you, that wants to sway you from the path that you want to go on. If you're trying to manifest the new identity, if you're trying to manifest a new life, the old identity will come back. Sometimes it will come back again and again and again, trying to sway you. And that is adversary. This is where you say yes and you say no. You must be decisive when it comes to the heart. You must have discipline when it comes to the heart. You must wake up, go to the gym, wake up, do this, do that. Do the things that will help you to create discipline because discipline is so important for the heart chakra. And if you want to balance the heart chakra and elevate beyond the heart chakra, you need discipline. You need to be disciplined within yourself. You can't say, but yeah, one last drink and then I'll stop. Or you can't say, yeah, one last smoke and then I'll stop. You can't say one last this, one last that. You need to be disciplined with yourself. And I know it's hard because talking about that stuff in particular, I've had addictions myself before, and it's hard. It's hard to just say, yeah, I'm going to stop. But you need to commit to whatever it is that you say to. This is how you create spiritual discipline. This is how you create the identity which is able to fight off the demons of the past self. You must be disciplined on yourself. Wake up, meditate, do this, whatever it is for you to create discipline within yourself. It's so important because the battle is always within. Battle is always what's is within, and you need to battle for what's right. you inherently know what is right all the time, but it's just a matter of, are you going to listen to your essence or are you going to listen to your ego? So yeah, I say down here, listening to ego versus listening to essence is very important because you're literally making the difference of living in hell versus living in heaven. Heaven often feels unfamiliar. You might have also heard the quote, people would rather live in an people would rather live in a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. Your heart, if you quiet the mind, your heart knows the right choice. Always. It's really not that hard at the end of the day. It's like, should I take this drink? If it feels like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't take the drink then. If it feels like, what else is there dealing with the ego? Should I keep working if I am obsessed with it and my cortisol and my stress is off the charts right now? Should I keep diving into work? Probably not. You probably shouldn't do that because it's just feeding your stress. It's feeding your need to prove yourself in some sort of way. Um, it's just these little things on a daily basis. You must be disciplined with yourself, though. That's how you create a powerful heart. The heart is also where you fix your life. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Someone may try to fix their life, but do it from a place of victimhood. You may see this a lot. Like someone constantly says, "Oh, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better," but they're living in a state of victimhood. They're literally like, they say, "Oh, my life is terrible. My life is so bad all the time. My life is so terrible. It's so bad," while trying to fix their life. And that's quite sad. I mean, you're not going to be able to fix your life if you're living in a place like that. You need to do it from a place of sureness, like a sure place. I am sure I am fixing my life right now. And that's what you choose. Because remember, Jaka, you know it, mental declaration leads to physical creation. That's the most important thing that you can remember. Mental declaration, and whenever you stick by your mental declaration, you know it's true, you will walk there so easily. So easily. So love, it wants to go in many different directions, but you must choose what direction it's going to go. If it becomes obsessive, you're still working through ego. So if you ever feel yourself obsessing, if you ever feel yourself placing high importance on something, this is an act of ego. And oftentimes, obsession is what creates the most pain in our lives. So do not focus on what you obsess over. If you start feeling yourself obsessed over something, pull your energy back, stop giving attention to it, and create a new mental pathway that is actually positive for the life that you want. So, another good practice is to call upon Kali. You guys may have heard that we're in the Kali Yuga age. You may have read a bit of the Vedic scriptures before, but Kali, Kali Yuga, how do I explain this? So, in the end times, the Vedic scriptures, they have an end time story. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. But Kali, this god, goes around killing people, killing everyone. Everyone. Like if you have the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's the Bhagavad Gita. It's a certain scripture, a certain book that I have at least. Um, Kali is on like a horse or some sort of entity or something and just riding around, cutting off people's heads left and right, killing everyone. And I was talking to a monk, actually. It's quite interesting. I was talking to a Hindu monk. Um, he worshiped Krishna. I don't know if he identified as Hindu, but he worshiped Krishna. And he was explaining to me, yeah, Kali is going to come around and kill all of us one day. Like the end times are pretty close, actually. We're actually really close to the end times. And he was saying it with full seriousness that Kali was going to come down and kill all of us. Obviously, sparing the people who are pure of heart or whatever, or sparing the people who are inclined towards spirituality. This is a reflection of ego. This is a reflection of purely ego. It's a projection of ego. The end times, which we see throughout all different religions, the end times reflects What? Well, you guys already know it. The end times reflects the destruction of ego, the collapse of all of the illusions that you've been living by, the collapse of the egoic narratives that have been running your life. It's the collapse of all of these things saying, I need to live my life like this, I need to do this, I am this, I'm not this. That is what Kali represents. And the end times represents all of your illusions coming to light, being reunited, your soul being reunited with God, which is infinite potentiality. And your ego confines you. Your ego says, I am this, I am this. And the heart chooses that. The heart chooses this direction. But you can call upon Kali and ask Kali, eliminate my egos. But you must be specific because Kali can kill many, many, many things. It's a very powerful spirit. It's a very, very, very powerful spirit. So you need to be specific about what you want killed. And as you can see, Kali is holding the heads of many different egos that have been slain. So that's one practice, is calling upon Kali in a deep meditation. Another practice is acting in unconditional love, loving yourself, loving the world, loving God. Most of all, loving these things in a pure way. Not in the way of, I need love, give me more love, stuff like that. But giving your own love and letting love run through you in the purest of ways possible. The higher octave of spirituality is silence. And that's the thing. A lot of the time we get called away from our true divine duty of servitude to God, um, because the ego is so loud. The ego is so loud and it says, I want this and I want this. But the higher octave of spirituality is silent, and it doesn't speak with a loud voice. It doesn't speak with logic and reason on why you should do it. You're not going to hear in the back of your head, you should go help others because of this, this, and this. There's no voice in your head that's going to be saying that. Because all of the voices in your head are that of ego. All of the voices in your head are that of old narratives, old identities, egoic narratives that they think that they're right. So you're not going to hear the voice that says, go help someone. You probably won't, at least. It's because the higher octave of spirituality is silent. It's very silent. It's very quiet. So, it uses no logic to convince us because that is the way of the ego. And the heart is that of air. It's air, so it can be led in many different directions, but you must choose the right direction. And Don Juan Matus said, there are thousands of paths. They all lead to nowhere. You must ask yourself one question. Does this path have a heart? If it does, it is good. If it doesn't, it is of no use. And then here's some other diagrams. Negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. Positive emotions can increase the brain's ability to make good decisions. Some cool stuff. This is one of my favorite diagrams. I'm gonna post this later today with the slides. I would just definitely recommend you guys go and check this out because this is the center of consciousness. And these are things that pull us away from the center of consciousness. Impulsiveness, reacting, restlessness, desires, opinions, beliefs, dogma, life dramas, world events, culture, society, news, self-importance, arrogance, self-love, self-hate. These things pull us away. So, some mantras. Another good practice is the mantra O. So, it's not ooh, it's O. You say O and just hold it there. Just O. This will help you to balance the heart. And for the lungs, it is A. It goes ah. You can literally feel the difference whenever you go, oh, oh, is assuredness. It's assuredness. It's I know the direction that I'm on. Ah, is the I'm coming into this world. I'm connecting with the infinite source around me. Ah, is you connecting with the Akashic records. That's what symbolizes. That's why whenever a baby comes into this world, the first syllable it says is ah. The reason that babies say is because they're coming from the Akash or the infinite potentiality or the infinite void. I don't know, there's a lot of different ways to describe that, but from what I learned, it's from the Akash. And Akash, it's a really good um it's a really good letter to open your heart. So whenever you go you open yourself up to other possibilities, to other realms, to other ideas and ways of being. And the O helps you to be assured in yourself, to be knowing in yourself, to be directional. This is what I'm doing. And you can just feel it, you know? You can feel the vibration. There's such a difference between and O. It's very different. They feel so, so, so different. And then another really good meditation, beautiful meditation, is to do the pentagram pose or like the starfish pose, whatever you want to call it. So this obviously you see the representations, the water, air, earth, fire, spirit. But you lay down in bed or on the floor or in the grass, somewhere where you can spread out, somewhere where you can just completely open yourself up. Because what you're doing, you're opening your heart up to the universe. And so you spread your legs apart, you spread your arms out, and you feel your blood rushing through you, you feel your heart pump, you feel the akash moving through you, you feel the beauty, you feel everything just moving through you. And that's about it, you know? I said I really had a goal to get through this presentation in an hour and a half. I failed that goal, unfortunately, but that's okay. Um, I want you guys to have as much growth as possible from these meetings. So we're doing our breakout rooms now, and just ask, amongst yourselves questions like this. Are you attached to your ego? Asking what identities, and then talk about it with each other. Whenever we talk about this stuff, it makes it real. It makes it seen. Whenever we're able to see what the ego is doing, we're able to say, I don't need to do that anymore. Or you just hear other people's experiences and you relate to them a lot. So anyway, I have a few other things to talk about in the breakout rooms, but for today, I'll just do two breakout rooms. Two breakout rooms today. But while we are here in the big room with everyone, do any of you guys have any questions on anything? Oh yes, let's meditate. I forgot. Let me just go through these chats. Heart. Listen to your heart. Okay, cool, guys. Do you guys want to do a guided meditation right now? Okay, let's do it. Cool. Well, I'm gonna turn off my camera and lock in. You guys could turn off your camera as well or do whatever. That was my audio, sorry. So just close your eyes. Just allow yourself to relax. Allow all of the movements of the air around you, all of your thoughts to continue moving through you and just witness them. Just see all of these thoughts flowing through you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Another deep breath in And another deep breath out, calming down and relaxing. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel the weight release off your shoulders. Let everything fall back, everything become at peace. Another breath in and a breath out. Completely relaxing. Let everything go. Feeling your shoulders relax. Another breath in. And this time feel infinite potential energy entering into your body. And then when you breathe out, feel any negative, dark, unwanted energies leave. Breathing in, it's clean, purifying energy moving throughout your body. And breathing out, you're letting everything go. Just letting it all go. You don't need to hold it anymore. You don't need to worry about any of the things that you've been worrying about. You can just let yourself flow and let yourself be at peace. Another breath in. Feel the light energy spread throughout your body. And now focus that energy throughout your body to your heart. Bring all of the energy that you feel in your body and even around you. Isolate all of that energy into your heart region and feel it and see it as a bright light glowing within you. Feel this light glowing in your heart and cast any worries you have into that light. Let it be shrouded with love and grace and letting go. Unconditional love lets go. Unconditional love lets things move through you. Unconditional love has no blockages. So let this strong light of passionate love burn brighter within your chest right now. And when you breathe in, you feel the light growing in strength, and you feel it purifying your body more. And when you breathe out, you're letting go and casting into the light all things that you don't need, all things that you've worried about. Just feeling yourself become totally relaxed, completely at peace with everything. Letting yourself become at peace with you, yourself, and the world. Feel a light of forgiveness, of love, compassion flood over you. Continue breathing and focusing on this light within your heart. Just casting away anything that you don't need into the light, letting it be transmuted by love. All of these things can be transmuted by your heart. And you're letting them go, casting all of your worries away, all of your fears, your unhappiness, anything negative, just gone. Now continue breathing, breathing in. Feel the light growing brighter and larger. And breathing out, still growing, still powerful. Let this light continue growing until it reaches the top of your head. Feel it spreading out down your arms. Feel the movement of that energy through your arms. What does it feel like on your skin? What does it feel like moving down your chest? Let that energy keep moving downward into your thighs, to your knees, to your feet. Just feel that energy, the light energy, touch every point of your body. Let yourself be shrouded in this energy and feel all of the positive emotions surrounding come, all of the positive emotions outside of you, all of the positive emotions within you becoming more and more profound, more and more powerful, more and more freeing. Let the light expand beyond you now. You're fully shrouded in it, but it's moving outward to the room that you're in. It's moving outward to your house, to the ground beneath your feet. Now feel this positive energy surrounding you, everywhere around you. Let it encapsulate everything, all of the negative energies around you. Let it encapsulate anything that's bad or negative. Let that light energy continue radiating, being so powerful all around you, creating so much peace and love. Now extend this light energy far beyond you. See this light energy being extended outward to war-torn places, to places in conflict. Give them love. Feel peace flowing through the area. Let your love flow through the area. Let peace lay over the hearts of all the people there, and allow love to flow through the hearts of all the people there. All of the children remaining innocent, all of the adults remaining pure and lighthearted. Feel yourself extending that love to them and giving it to them and blessing them with this universal energy, with this universal light, this powerful, powerful light that can heal, can give love, can empower people. Feel those regions becoming better, becoming more positive. Feel the energy that you casted over there, making a profound impact in some sort of way. Just let it sit there. Let it move through those regions. They are blessed. We are blessed. All is blessed. Now bring your energy, all of this light, let it stay there, but bring your energy back to center. Feel your light shining within. Feel your heart glowing, your heart in peace and love. This energy is always there, and you can always cast this energy to anyone you may know. Take some time to give this energy of love to someone you may be worried about, to someone you may be thinking about, to someone you love. Feel the energy washing over them, this loving energy, this energy of purity and abundance and peace and happiness. Let it wash over them. They are blessed. You are blessed. All is blessed. Now come back to your heart center. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heart beating. Feel the energy within it. Maybe do some stretches. Stretch your arms out. Let yourself be free. Let yourself feel freedom. Feel true, unconditional freedom, unconditional love. To feel exactly as you need to feel and feel as you want to feel. You are not trapped. You are pure and you are free. And all things are working through you. And all things are well. Just focus your energy for a minute at your heart. Just feel it. Just take a minute to relax with that. Now remember, the energy that you felt during this meditation, the energy that you've given to those people who need it, and those people that you've thought about, it's always there and it's never gone. And you can always extend your energy to those people as whenever you like. Keep them in your hearts. And be blessed. Let yourself feel blessed. Let yourself feel peace. Now you can come back to center and open your eyes as you need. But yeah. I hope you all enjoyed.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
That felt really calm, Jimmy.
Nice. Glad to hear.
Nice.
Okay, so now we'll hop into our breakout rooms and discuss the things that we need to discuss. So, the question that I ask you guys for these breakout rooms today is what identities are you trying to uphold? Maybe an identity in the past that you've been trying to uphold. Something maybe that you felt like you needed to do for a long time. Maybe you felt like you needed to be a certain person or act a certain way or act to someone's standards, maybe. Um, what's an identity that you feel like you've been needing to uphold? So for now, I will if you guys don't have any questions, I'll put us into breakout rooms. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 breakout rooms.
There's going to be 2 breakout rooms?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, open all rooms.